It is interesting how simple items can be transformed to an important aspect of clothing. Enhancing one's clothing can take several forms. Some may prefer a combination of different fabrics, whereas others would opt for buttons with different colors. Buttons in recent times have evolved from its basic purpose of fastening up a dress to become a fashion statement. One interesting bit is the use of fabric in covering up buttons to design not only dresses but shoes and bags. Sarah Christian, a fashion designer, tells us how important buttons have become in making a simple dress look more attractive.
I'm not yet for decorative purposes. Now we have them just being accessories as the neckline. We have them as just being accessories as a neckline, being used for caps, being used for necklaces, being used for earrings, yeah. And now we've Africanized the wear. It's no longer just the plain button. We've made it African printed buttons and stuff, so yes. Remember the kaba that we used to wear? Our mothers used to even cover the buttons with African prints just to make the kaba nice, so yes, came from that. You have a few, especially bridesmaids, who come with a detail of buttons at the back of your dress, and it just adds a little elegance to it, even though it is not functional. So yes, you have a zip, and then the buttons follow. Something like this. There's a zip that does all the opening and closing, but to look good, you add the buttons, and the buttons don't do anything in the dress. They just show functionality. Something like this, we use this button to make sure you're tightened up, and this is what we use for functionality. So the other ones are for decorative purposes, which you have a zip but yet you want a button. But these are to make sure nothing pops out anywhere. Now we made functional buttons not supposed to be seen unless they are in shirts. Right now everybody's trying to be creative. So now you have metallic buttons being used as essence. They're being used to decorate a piece, to make it more punk. And we have the covered thing, so you can have a plain fabric and have covered African print buttons, just to bring the African into the dress. So yes, now that's what's being used for. Anything is being used for anything as far as creative. Especially the covered buttons, they weren't really around for a while, and they just started coming around, and it's been good business for the button makers. The covered buttons are a little more expensive than already made buttons, and yes, it affects cost, especially when you want to use it for decorative purposes, where now it's no longer the same. So as your neckline, it's all buttoned up, with that it increases the cost of a dress. Even with men's fashion, it's no longer just a functional bit where it's just there. Now we have really big buttons going on the shirts and the rest, and it's just to add to the fashion of the business. Even with the normal buttons, they do red, gold, green just to show that it's Ghanaian. Now that's what people are doing. It's now just more creative than function. The possibilities of buttons are countless. They are limitless, so we should actually explore more, because now I've seen people making belts out of buttons and really nice bracelets and stuff out of buttons, so it's quite interesting. And now I've seen them on shoes. I never really saw buttons on shoes, but now I'm seeing buttons on shoes, and I think that's cool. So yeah.
So we asked the public on what they think about button designed pieces.
Yeah, actually I like it, because even on my engagement day, I have these plenty buttons there, the same as my wife's own, and everybody was like, wow, what kind of design is this? And that was about 5 years ago. That time, that's when the design started coming out. So I love it. When it's on a shirt, I don't like it straight, but it should be a fashion on it.
Ghana for the idea about so there. So who say obi kuta and then ochina obi su kuta, chine obi su kuta. It's no here say make it because the idea about na Ghana for there. Sanity. Ebi o hu ayefe. Obi shekra e so nya obetu. Ntare cry there. Any bags there. Ama baba we kita mo a hu say efe.
Se matare no eye fe e wani mama na ye fe ma uhu colors ebi kura obetimi de ti de bag na pesa de ebe nante no betimi de sa colors no e match ma na ye feka atare bo buttons ni wo ma ebi a na atare ni mu so nti obi e buttons na otimi de atare ni hye na wa feta ma aye kama
buttons no watade no ma na matade na go attract now cry school atade e chire no so one for buttons and say chekra enye fe se ma na ye kama do a omo pae o se no so a mutimi de buttons ni bi si wo na ma na ye kama